O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
There's just one place to get our lowest payment on a new Acura Integra. $229 a month. It's the Season of Performance event at Acura of Pembroke Pines, #1 in the USA.
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orvieto's Awards and More. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at orvietosawards.com. Orvieto's Awards and More, where recognition is rewarding.
It starts every morning before the sun comes up. Projects are laid out. Plans are made. Equipment is fueled and loaded with inventory to handle all service requests. Orders are given to an army of skilled landscape maintenance professionals, certified arbor trimmers, irrigation technicians, and licensed pest management experts who fan out to communities and businesses all over South Florida. Experienced, on time, and dependable. Our staff is fully trained, licensed, and insured. Contact us by phone, email, social media, or through our website to answer all your landscape questions. We are Cutter's Edge. Total Landscape Solutions.
After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices.
It's game day at Toyota of Hollywood. Our all-stars are here to give you our MVP experience. Join the fun and feast on discounts up to $4,500. Huddle up and score big on a 25 Corolla. Not $26,000, $17,988. It's a tailgate party you don't want to miss. So gobble up the savings at the #1 volume Toyota dealer. Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
Oh, Sam, not again.
Initiating Daddy's back.
Go! Set the rhythm of your smart home with Sloman Shield Blink, the new integrated smart home platform that automates your life just the way you want it. Sloman Shield Blink. Be the maestro of your own home.
When it comes to your smile, confidence is so important. At Moody S Dental, they provide the services to get your smile back. This family-run practice prides itself by offering the latest technology to give your family the best experience possible. Moody S Dental has been in business for over 30 years with offices in Hialeah and Plantation. They accept most major dental insurances. They provide free new patient exams, 20% off select treatments. To qualify, please follow us on Instagram at moodys.dental. Moody S Dental has been in business for over 30 years. To schedule an appointment in Hialeah, call 305-821-0231 and Plantation 954-692-6825. From Invisaligns, dental implants, same-day crowns, and the preventative care and preservation to get your smile back. Go to moodysdental.com to find out more and tell them Big O sent you.
Price, service, selection. Get all this and more at South Florida's #1 loved Subaru store. Subaru of Pembroke Pines. Save today with our 3 ways to save. 0% financing, 0 down payment, or make no payments for 90 days. From Subaru of Pembroke Pines.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors, 305-345-3649 or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welt & Rayom. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welt & Rayom can help.
There's just one place to get our lowest payment on a new Acura ADX. $239 a month. It's the season of performance event at Acura of Pembroke Pines, #1 in the USA.
The viewpoints, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big.
It's the Big O Show with Orlando Walls and Gary. It's the place to go for South Florida sports commentary. The Dolphins, the Panthers, the Canes, and the Heat. No one lives matter inside on the South Florida beat. On most platforms, crushing local radio. Search Big O Radio Show on most platforms.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Hope you all are doing well on a beautiful Monday, January 5th, 2025. Day number 18,981 since the Miami Dolphins won a championship. And day number 8,764 since the Canes were national champions. Can we reset that clock? I was thinking about this, Sean. Good morning to you. But let's just say, all right, Sean, Stanley, let's just say, for shits and giggles, follow me on this. Once Bitcoin crosses 100, and by the way, we're over 93, headed to 94 right now. Sounds good. You know, I'll fill you in on some other stuff later. But once Bitcoin hits 100, I'm going to start the count with 1, 2, but it's more of a positive count of how many days it's over 100,000, right? So it's a different kind of count than the other one. This one's a negative count. So let's say the Canes win the national championship, right? Let's just, let's hope so. They win the national championship. When do I start the clock again for them? I'm not going to start with, this is 1 day since they were national champions. That's kind of cheesy, right? That you can't do that, right? So when do you start the clock again? Do you have to, do you wait like a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years? At what point do you say, I'm unsatisfied, I'm starting the clock? That's the question. Because, see, that's what I'm facing next. After the Canes win the title, I get to reset the clock, take it off the damn open of the show, don't have to talk about it anymore. But when do you bring something like that back? What do you think? What's the answer? What do you think? Couple seasons, five seasons. Okay. I think that's fair. Yeah, I like that. 5 years that's a pretty good answer right there. I like that. Yeah, 5 years, then you're kind of like, hey, yo, what's going on? Let's go. Let's get back in the mix and we start the clock. I like it. I like that. I think 5 years is a pretty good start there. By the way, Bitcoin is at 93,318. Okay. Anyway, so got some stuff to talk about. Ira Winderman will join us tomorrow when we're at Hialeah Park, by the way. Okay, so we'll talk to Ira. They will play Minnesota on Tuesday anyway. So, and they just lost to Minnesota recently. So they'll play Minnesota on Tuesday. And so we'll talk to Ira and we'll talk to him about a couple of issues. And one of them I'm going to address today on the show that I'm going to talk about because it's kind of disturbing, unfortunately. Sad, it's kind of sad the way things have kind of gone in the direction that it's gone. It's kind of bad. But anyway, so plenty of things to talk about on the show. Obviously, a lot of Dolphin stuff. For all you Dolphin fanatics out there, you ended up with the 11th pick in the draft. Okay, so there you go. Overall, right? It didn't really matter yesterday. Somebody goes to me, the Dolphins are tanking, trying to bench all these players. I'm like, if the Dolphins were fully healthy, they weren't going to beat the Patriots. So they weren't tanking. It's, plus their draft position wasn't going to change much at all yesterday with a loss or a win. They were going to be right around that area where they were going to be 10, 11, or 12 or whatever. It doesn't really matter, so they ended up at 11. Overall, the top 10, by the way, the Raiders will end up getting Mendoza. They got number 1. The Jets also need a quarterback. They're at number 2. Arizona's at 3. They need a quarterback. Tennessee's at 4. So the first team that doesn't need a quarterback is at 4. So if there's somebody worthy of number 2, he's gone to the Jets. You know what I mean? So those are, for you silly fools out there that thought you were going to trade up from whatever to number 1 or 2 or whatever, that's not going to happen. But now you'll see that the teams that are up on the top are the ones that need quarterbacks. So that, is out the window. So let's make sure we talk about that because, you'll have your silly Dolphin sites or writers trying to,
they've got to fill some space, fill some time, then they'll give you some bullshit out there, and it's all that crap. It's kind of like talking about Tomlin and Harbaugh, and if they become available, like they're even going to consider you. It's like it's stupid shit that Dolphins love to. There's a group of Dolphins, they love to waste their time talking about stuff that's completely unrealistic and will never happen. Giants end up at 5, and they have Dart already, so it doesn't matter. I guess they'll get a lineman. Or D. Browns at 6. They just fired their head coach, Stefanski, this morning. Washington is at number 7. New Orleans is at number 8, and they may have found their quarterback in Shug. They kind of like the kid. We'll see what they do there. KC's at 9, so Mahomes will get an offensive lineman. I don't know if Francis Mauigoa will fall to them at 9, but that's kind of one of the players that they need to improve the run game and improve the line around Mahomes, and they've got to get receivers too. Cincinnati's at number 10 too. So there you go. There you go. There you go. There you go. So that's all in motion, and Miami's right outside the top 10 at number 11. Again, something that we cannot control. Don't forget, please smash the hell out of the like button, okay? Smash it. Very important. It gets that algorithm going, all that good stuff. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. That way you know when we go live and you get the heads up or breaking news or a rant or whatever that is posted. Which is a beautiful thing. And, of course, you can make a donation to the show. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. And you can make a Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, and Solana donation. Ho Yoon, thank you, sir, for the love. As always, appreciate the donation, sir. And he just simply puts, have a great day. I will see you, my friend, at the end of the month on the 30th in Jacksonville. I finally get to meet Ho Yoon. So that is cool. Get to hang out with Ocala Joe also. Going to go to a John Waite concert. Got my tickets already. I am set to go. I'm on the floor there. I'm pretty close. So I was the concert snob that I am. I was able to get decent seats. So looking forward to John Waite. He's going to play a couple extra baby songs. So I really like that because I'm a big fan of his early day stuff with the babies. And looking forward to it. And back on my feet again. He's definitely going to sing, which is my favorite song. Midnight Rendezvous, all kinds of stuff. So yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. And I'm looking forward to it. And Ho Yoon, looking forward to finally meeting you, sir. And appreciate your support of the program. Thank you. And look, I told you there'd be a concert that I could go up there and so there we go. So gonna go meet them and then hang out with Ocala Joe and Lourdes, have some fun. By the way, Jack, thank you for the love on the locks because I had the hair going yesterday. Appreciate the compliment. Thank you, sir. Because I usually wear hats, but yesterday I just went kind of hatless until Bitcoin broke. And then when I saw it break to, the 93 mark where it was at 91 and it was stuck. And by the way, let me just mention now, thanks to R&M Contractors, of course, Ray and Mike are big supporters of our program. And they sponsor all of our crypto segments, and I might as well get it out of the way. Michael Saylor bought 1,287 Bitcoin. They now own 673,782 Bitcoin at $62.5 billion. They also have $2.25 billion in cash. So strategy is like exploding in every way possible, and wait till Bitcoin takes off. And all the what's it called? Like the stats, well, whether it's the RSI, everything is moving in a positive direction right now. We've had 4 green candles in Bitcoin, daily green candles. So all of a sudden things are turning around. It started on January 1st when we were at 87, and now it's moved up. And let me see where we're at now. We were at 93. Let me see. We are at 93.3 right now. And so it's been moving. About $6,000 has moved in 5 days. The only thing that may not sustain this run, and we may have another dip again, is volume. Volume is the only thing right now. Everything else is trending on the upward. So maybe volume now explodes here on Monday. I'm really interested to see how it closes today. And if volume explodes, then we're talking about a real, now we're going to make the push to pass 100. If it does not today, then I think this is kind of like a bit of a fake pump, and we'll go back down to the high 80s again. That's what I think is going to end up happening. But you have to look at volume, and volume has been low. It's too low to sustain any kind of a pump. So obviously, Michael Saylor added, to the volume, and we'll see if there are others around the world that add to the volume. That would be good. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, so yes, I appreciate it as always. So looking forward to hanging out with you, Ho Yoon, out there in Jacksonville, and having some fun, man. And we thank R&M Contractors. Thank you. And by the way, call Ray and Mike, 305-345-3649. If you need to remodel your home, condo, business, you're looking for kitchen upgrades, appliances, waterproofing your terrace, balcony, flood test report. These are very important things. By the way, it helps also with your insurance. Impact windows, door installations, keeps you safe, helps also with your insurance. Bathroom upgrades, floor restorations. Ray and Mike do it all, and they do exceptional work. They have an Instagram page. Check out the Instagram page. It's RMC Fisher Island. That's RMC Fisher Island. And look at the work, and you'll see how exceptional it is. And then you can call them if you live anywhere in South Florida, 305-345-3649, and tell them that Big O sent you. And we thank them for sponsoring all of our crypto segments. So let's hope that we're headed into the upward swing and back over 100,000, which we'll see. What else do we have going on in the world of sports? Well, let's get into. Oh, by the way, another note, just in case on the music side, you see our open. Mason Pace is the artist that did our open. Okay, and it's a fantastic open. Stephen Carter, I got to give him the original credits because he created the open. And then obviously, and he was able to redo it for us for 640 because obviously from 560 and I go to 640, then, the open kind of changes. And so I've been wanting to redo the open because now I'm on a platform for many years now. And so finally I was able to do it and I had to rewrite the lyrics myself. So I'm the lyricist this time on the song. But Mason Pace is the stud, the performer. And you hear him, and he can sing, and he can rock, and he's got great music. You can look it up, Mason Pace Band. And they're going to be Friday at Margaritaville in Hollywood. Okay? So if you want to support a local act, an artist that is, trying to fight his way up, and who knows, one day Mason Pace, when he's selling millions of downloads and all that good stuff, we'll be jamming that open saying, see, when Mason Pace was up and coming star, he was kind enough to do an open for us. You know what I'm saying? So Mason Pace will be performing Friday at Margaritaville. And if you can, please support them out there. I'm going to see if maybe I can go with the wife out there and have a little fun and enjoy myself. Anyway, all right. So all kinds of stuff to talk about. Congratulations to the Panthers yesterday, getting the win over the Avalanche. That was a huge win, bro. They're in the 9th spot right now for the playoffs. They're like 1 point out of the 8th spot, so they're right there on the cusp of getting into the playoffs. And now they're starting to get healthier, and Kachuk's coming back. And you heard about Barkov already starting to skate. I've been telling you the whole time. I just got a feeling that Barkov's going to come back for the playoffs. I just have that feeling, and I am going to stick to that. And I've been super positive about this team because it's just different than all our other teams in town. This is a mentally and physically tough team, and they're talented. They're deep. And for them to still be right here in the playoff race with all the injuries that they have, I think it's been a phenomenal job, dude. Phenomenal job. And if they start getting all these guys back, look out, baby. Second half is going to be awesome. They're going to be kicking some serious ass. And Sean Stanley, the Panthers won. They beat the Avalanche, who came in with like 2 losses on the stinking season, which is ridiculous, okay? And the Panthers gave them a loss. So, sir, give the Panthers a victory cigar. And the Heat, of course, took care of, the worst team in the league, the Pelicans. Fly, Pelican, fly. Give them a victory cigar. Yeah, there's nothing to talk up about the Heat. Just, it is what it is. They won, all right, whatever. Yeah, they are what they are. Is what it is. Anyway, but congratulations, they won, so give them the victory cigar. Not that they're going anywhere. 93,693 right now, baby. We're about to bust 94. We're about to bust 94. Love it. Here we go. Here we go. I like it. I like it. Ty in the Bronx. Thank you, sir, for the love. The super chat. He says, I see the Finns are up to their old BS lying tricks again, Big O. It's so sad that the so-called GM search is all lies, Big O. Ross is an idiot. Yes, he is. Ross is a king-size idiot, and you lead me to my first topic, and the title is there. The Miami Dolphins dysfunction is at an all-time high. Why? Because you never learn. Same mistakes over and over again. We're doing the human Jenga again. We're looking for a scout. If you listen to the pregame show, it really wasn't a pregame show. It was a Dolphin rant. And I broke down everything on the GM search and why it's so fraudulent. You may want to take a listen to it. But the dysfunction is so bad that they think they have a feeling like they know what they're doing, and they have great people in place. And the problem is that they don't understand that they don't, and they aren't. And so dysfunction is at an all-time high. You're going to do the same stupid things you've done all over. You refuse to clean house. You are bringing along your son-in-law now like he's some freaking football expert when you're a buffoon and your son-in-law doesn't know jack shit. He's not an NFL person. And let's be quite honest, Tom Garfinkel has no business to be in that room, and neither does Brandon Shore. So all of a sudden, we got a whole bunch of unqualified people to be searching for a general manager. And they don't see it. Why? What did I tell you? What have I told you that I've been hearing from the building? It's just a bunch of people kissing ass and saving their asses. They kiss the old man's ass. and they try to, come up with what he wants to hear. And somehow or another, they massage it to him that it's not so bad. Why? Because they're all a part of it. And no, it's not broken. We just need to fix a cog. So this time it's only the general manager because we really like the head coach. He's terrible, but we really like him. I mean, they like Joe Philbin. So, this is a franchise that hires an idiot in Flores who doesn't understand, hey, we're trying to go for Joe Burrow, moron. Let's go. No, I'm going to try. And, a divisive dude, a bad dude. You had Adam Gase, who had no social skills whatsoever and was stubborn as hell. You had Joe Philbin, who was also a guy that could not get along with stars, hated egos because he couldn't handle egos. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. Jeff Ireland had a brash and rude way of doing things. And it just, all kinds of stuff. And everybody has had holes in everything that they've done. Mike Tannenbaum, whatever. And all you have to do is look at the track record in the 16 years that this man has owned the team since 2009. And look at what's going on again. And the dysfunction just continues. And they refuse to look at themselves. You know what I mean? That's the problem. You're supposed to get a real football guy. Now, don't tell me, oh, there's nobody, this, that. That's what losers say. That's why you're a losing organization. But you find a real football guy, and then you all get the hell out of the way. And the owner tells everyone, sorry, guys, everyone's jobs here is not safe. That man is going to decide everything. We're going to put trust in this. There's nobody in the organization that deserves any trust. So why are we creating a circle of trust with a bunch of people that aren't made for this? Like, it's the dumbest thing in the world. Unqualified people trying to fix the Miami Dolphins. At least I give Wayne credit. He went and got Jimmy, pushed Shula out. Not that I give him credit for that, but he went and got his football czar. And then he thought he got another czar in Saban, and then he thought he got another czar in Parcells, because at least Wayne had the right idea. Dude, this is not who I am. I'm not going to run the football team like Stephen Ross, who falls in love with Ndamukong Suh at a hockey game. And so then we're stuck with him. Or he likes Joe Philbin, so he extends him. Or he likes Mike McDaniel, or whatever stupidity that this old fart comes up with. Like, this is what we're stuck with. But at least I give Huizenga rest in peace. He had the right idea. It didn't work out. Jimmy was a failure. Saban was a failure. Parcells was a failure. I get it. It didn't work out, but that's the right way of doing it. When you don't know what the hell you're doing, don't do it. You're rich enough. Go hire somebody that has been there and done it, and let them run your organization. Take the chance. I mean, after all, you've been at it for 16 years, going after coaches illegally, costing your team picks, having terrible hires, embarrassing your team on a consistent basis, and you just continue. And you just continue. The dysfunction continues. And there's no stopping this train because we can't fire the owner. So, like, we're stuck with this idiot. And the guy owns our favorite team, and he's a disgrace. I don't give a shit how successful his property is. I don't care how much money he makes. To me, Stephen Ross is a disgrace to South Florida. He's a thief. All he is a guy making a lot of money, and he's really not contributing to what he's supposed to do when he bought the team. He was supposed to create really good vibes for the fan base by creating a team that we can all be proud of, a team that could win, a team that could finally actually produce, because it never produces. And all he has created is dysfunction. All he's created is there's no hope. The guy has killed hope, dude. Think about that. It's at an all-time low now. The only people that can spin anything hopeful on the Miami Dolphins either work in the building or it's at 30% of the fan base that I say, those are the people that can't listen to my show because they cannot handle the truth. They're more like, well, maybe they'll get lucky and they'll find the guy and he'll turn everything around. Those people that are hopeless. Okay, the same people that thought that McDaniel was going to turn things around now. I get it. We all want him to win, but that's just not the case. And we're stuck with this. We're stuck with a group of individuals that don't know what the hell they're doing. And so you're simply hoping for dumb luck. And I'm sorry, dumb luck does not carry you in the NFL. The Eagles don't win by dumb luck. They win by Howie Rosen. The Kansas City Chiefs win. They don't win by dumb luck. They win because they have the ownership, the front office, Andy Reid, Mahomes. That's why they win. The Patriots, well, I think you're watching why Kraft wins, right? Who won the division now? Without Belichick and Brady? Kraft. Dumb luck? Is that dumb luck? I'm just trying to figure it out. Who does it? Baltimore Ravens have won the championship. Is it dumb luck when they win the championship? Because, we have that fan base. Well, maybe we'll get lucky. No, asshole. That doesn't happen that way. Sorry. You want brutal honesty? We'll give it to you here. Okay? Doesn't happen that way. Dumb luck can get you a winning season. Dumb luck might get you into the playoffs. Dumb luck, Tim Tebow hits Demaryius Thomas on a crossing route and you win a playoff game. Yeah, it's dumb luck. Dumb luck isn't winning you a Super Bowl, bro. And, the dumb part of our fan base now, okay, is, well, we're looking for somebody that can win a playoff game. Well, yeah, that's kind of nice, but we need a lot more than that. It's like this silly fan that says, well, we need to go get a quarterback. Really? Yeah, we all know they need a quarterback, but do you think the quarterback is just going to fix everything? Because you're as dysfunctional as they are. We had Dan Marino. He didn't fix anything. He didn't fix a damn thing. Like, you people don't learn? Just like Stephen Ross. You don't learn. So there isn't going to be dumb luck. You could go get a quarterback and it's not going to save you because you got to compliment the quarterback. And we don't know how. So until you find somebody at the top that knows how to build a football structure, like a Bill Zito, like a Pat Riley, interesting. The teams that are really successful, they found the guy. Vinny Viola didn't build the team. Mickey Harrison didn't build the team. But Bill Zito and Pat Riley did. Blueprint's there, dude. And it's all over the place. Okay? I would love to count the MLS and the Moss Brothers, but that's fantasy soccer that's being played there because the league is not that good. So if I'm buying the better players in the world, I'm at a much bigger advantage than the rest of you in the MLS. So I should win. You know what I mean? Like, Inter Miami won what they were supposed to win last year and this year. You understand? So to me, it's not like what Zito and Riley have done. It's a little different. It's very F1-ish. If you want analogies, baby, well, I swung that bitch and I drove that for like 700 yards on that one. I hit it on the hole number 2. I put it in the green in hole number 2 on that one. That's what the MLS is. It's F1. And that's what the Dolphins are. I mean, I'm sorry, Inter Miami is. So I'm not going to put that. That takes a lot less skill. Let me go buy Messi. Do you have him? Do you have him? Do you have him? Oh, the 29 other teams don't have him? Oh, okay. So that's different than, not to diminish it. It's kind of like a little bit like the Canes. Give you a little example. Those of us, that are fair, we were mighty pissed off at Mario Cristobal. And guess what? We were all justified. The fact that you beat Texas A&M on the road and now you dominate Ohio State, what the f- are you doing losing to Louisville and SMU? That's why we're pissed. When you out-recruit their asses and you've got way better talent than Clemson and FSU combined, you should be beating everybody in that damn conference. And that's where Mario screwed up. Luckily, he got the break to get into the playoffs and got to redeem himself. But he's doing what he was supposed to do. He was supposed to get in those playoffs easily by beating SMU and Louisville. Okay? So do what you're supposed to do because, and now you're really excelling. You know what I'm saying? But back to our dysfunctional team. It's terrible when you can't understand and see the dysfunction. It's a shame. And that's where we're at now with this ownership group. And I don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. And that's why last offseason, when I looked at the team that they were building, I go, my God, this is a terrible team. This is going to be a terrible year. They're going to be 7-10. Right on target on all of it. So, by the way, if you listen to the show last year, I told you I kept telling everybody inside the building, you're all going to get fired. That guy McDaniel's going to get you fired. And I thought like normal teams, you first fire the coach and then you fire the GM and all that. Dude, they ended up firing the GMs first. That's crazy. So people in the building didn't listen to me. So it's like you see the dysfunction. It's staring you in the face. And you do nothing about it. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo, and you can make a Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, or Solana donation. By the way, Subaru of Pembroke Pines. We broadcast there every single month. We hang out there with Alan, Eric Stampone and company. They are kicking some serious ass there at 16100 Pines Boulevard. And don't forget, you can use the QR code. You can also get $500 off when you mention us. So you say, hey, man, Big O sent me here. I want to get $500 off my lease or when you buy a vehicle. It's a beautiful thing. So get on down there, check it out. They've got some great deals going on. They've got a selection that is absolutely second to none. And tell them that Big O sent you, man. They've got a beautiful dealership. They've got a service center also. Very helpful. Make sure you see Eric Stampone, Alan, and all the great people at Subaru of Pembroke Pines. All right. What else do we have going on? Let's get to our 3A Graphics sports calendar. Alan Blanco, yes, sir. If you need custom printing and embroidery, please call 3A Graphics, 786-618-1443. The Browns have fired head coach Kevin Stefanski. This is following last night's firing of the Falcons GM Terry Fontenot and head coach Raheem Morris. Sadly, Mike McDaniel is still in place, Miami Dolphin fans. And guess what? He'll have his press conference today just so you can hear the wrap-up of the season and how he's going to prepare you for next season. Anyway, congratulations to the Panthers. They beat the Avalanche 2-1. Nice job by the Panthers. Bennett and Ekblad with goals. Tarasov with 27 saves. By the way, that's the other thing about it. You beat the Avalanche and Tarasov. Now Bobrovsky was in goal. That's pretty damn good. Tuesday, by the way, they're in Toronto at 7:30. Heat last night. They take care of the Pelicans. Pelicans suck. They're 8-29, man. Give me a break. 125-106. Powell was red hot with 34. Ware had 16 points, 12 rebounds, and a block shot. Tuesday, they're in Minnesota at 8 o'clock. Fort Lauderdale United will enjoy the time off till the end of the month on the 31st. They will host Lexington FC at 7:30 at Beyond Bankcard Field. Don't forget, you can get tickets at FTLUTD.com. Cheer on the girls and support them. Family fun atmosphere and also affordable too, which is, not a lot of sports are affordable, and it's also kid friendly. They got all kinds of games going on, all kinds of stuff. So bring the family out there to Beyond Bankcard Field in Davie and get your tickets at FTLUTD.com. That is our 3A Graphics sports calendar. All right. One more thing, the Dolphins end up with the 11th pick in the draft. Just in case, I did mention it earlier, but sometimes people aren't listening all the time. What else do we have going on? Jeremy Dorsett. Big O, look at Myles Garrett. Sashi Brown, best player and pick back in 17 on the 0-16 team. Now he holds a sack record for the season. Well, kind of. I'm going to go with Strahan here. Strahan owns the record in the 16-game schedule, and he owns the record in the 17-game schedule. So, yes, great job by Myles Garrett and all that. It's still a terrible franchise. They can't win for shit. So, whoever goes there goes to die there. Kind of like the Dolphins, kind of like the Jets. It's kind of like the Arizona Cardinals. There's a lot of similarities with all these teams, okay? Just because maybe the Dolphins win a couple of extra games sometimes in some of these teams doesn't mean they're any different than any of these teams, to be quite honest, okay? But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo, and you can make a Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, or Solana donation. Rob Erickson, thank you for the love on Venmo. He says, morning, I'm looking forward to your reaction when you are live, if and whenever Sean breaks the news that McSoft goes bye-bye. Appreciate you guys. Thank you, my brother. Appreciate you. But doesn't look like they're going to fire the head coach, which makes no sense. And let's talk about that. Okay, because to keep McDaniel, it's basically criminal to keep McDaniel. For 16 years as an owner, you haven't produced anything. And all you have are mediocre coaches and mediocre front office and mediocre teams and mediocre results, and everything never works. And all of a sudden, you're going to keep someone that keeps proving that it doesn't work? Yesterday, it's the last game of the season for his fourth year. Did you see the clean play by the offense, or did you see mistakes again? There's always mistakes. There's always pre-snap penalties. There's always people that don't know when to run routes. It's impossible to win a challenge practically. I mean, he won one this year, which is a miracle. but it's, getting plays in on time. It's just all kinds of stuff. Abandon the running game. The list is long. The list is incredibly long. He's not good at complimenting his quarterbacks. He's terrible on short yardage situations. There are so many things that define why Mike McDaniel is a terrible coach. Plus, he's a terrible representative of your team. He looks like a stoner on a podium, and he can never give you a straight answer. And it's always ums and ahs and buying time to try to design the perfect answer. And you can tell that it's very little of it is real natural and honest. And it's all just staged bullshit, dude. And then the jokes and everything else, where your jokes don't fly, brother. You beat the Bills, and it actually was a drive-by by you. Like, what are you doing? You're a fucking clown. You've won nothing. Who are you to do anything to anybody out there, dude? Look at you. You're like the guy with his brain splattered on the window and Scarface going, look at you now. You're 7-10. You're driving by. Yeah, why don't you drive by watching the Bills in the playoffs? What's that drive-by mean? Nothing, because you're a clown. And this is what you're going to keep as your head coach. Sad, bro. It's sad. And if I'm a season ticket holder, I got to say, why would you buy tickets? Why would you fund this? I don't watch it at home, bro. A lot cheaper. You don't have to sweat. You don't have to go through the time. You don't have to spend all the hours that you spend there. Like, why are they worth it? Like, I don't really get it. And you're part of the problem, by the way, because you're telling Stephen Ross it's okay to continue to do what you're doing, bro. You're good. I'm going to buy whatever you do because it doesn't matter. That's kind of the message you're telling him. Sad. It's sad that people continue to fund this, and it's sad that he knows he can take advantage because people will continue to give him the money to do what he's doing. Like, it's baffling to me. And you're going to tell your fan base, I'm bringing this guy back. That's like telling your fan base, I don't care about winning. That's what it is. Because if you bring back Mike McDaniel, you don't care about winning. You're not interested in winning. There's no way you're interested in winning. Sorry. You can't tell me that, and you're bringing Mike McDaniel back. No. But if you're plucking down for those season tickets and those club seats, he's saying, it doesn't matter. They're all going to buy the tickets anyways. And if they don't, the visiting team and their fans will buy the tickets. It's one of the greatest scams in the world. And that's why he can sit there with his son-in-law trying to act like, they know what the hell they're doing. The Danny Silman era is taking over. But don't worry, there'll be some fans out there that'll say, well, you never know, Danny Silman might get lucky and he, might know what he's doing. Yeah, sure. Sad, dude. It's sad that you are keeping Mike McDaniel and basically telling your fan base winning is not really a priority here. What a shame. What do we got here? Corso, thank you, sir, for the love on the super chat. He says, is it possible that they're going to keep McDaniel as an OC, not calling plays, just designing the offense? Come on, Corso. They're paying him to be a head coach, bro. So they're going to demote him all the way to OC. And then what? And pay him as a head coach because he's not going to take a pay cut. So you have to pay him $5 million to be an OC or whatever they're paying him to be a head coach. I mean, you know. Okay. I always thought that maybe I had a shot with Jacqueline Smith from Charlie's Angels when I was like in 6th grade. I was thinking, I could run into her. I could convince her. Wait for me, Okay, Corso? I always thought maybe Jeannie and I could share the bottle. I always thought if that chuck wagon comes by while I'm sitting in the living room, there's no way it gets away from me. So, there's a lot of fantasies out there. Just so you'll know. Okay, Corso? There's a lot of fantasies out there. There's some young people going, what's he talking about, chuck wagon? Like, a couple of you old guys are going, I kind of thought about that shit too. Like I kept looking like I'm 7 years old going, is there any chance that chuck wagon is going to come out? Because I want to keep that shit for myself. So, Corso, thanks for the fantasy super chat. But, let's keep fantasies in fantasy land. Okay? You're wondering what's the professor doing on that island with, there are 2 women on that island. I get Gilligan's a goofball. And the captain, well, whatever. But, there's a lot of fantasies out there, Corso. A lot of fantasies. But I appreciate yours. It's entertaining. Completely unrealistic. That's why it's a fantasy. Let me see what we got here on the chat board. Jack Roldan. FYI, I was watching you yesterday and your hair looked great. I know that's random, but FYI, thank you. Thanks to you and the wife giving me credit on the hair. Thank you. Appreciate it. The locks were working. I see the Jaybird in there. I see Alexis Palenzuela. Let's see. Maybe we can Trump to take out McDaniel if we can convince him he was working with Maduro. Or, wait a minute. Because, the key for Trump taking Maduro out, the word is that when he saw Maduro dancing. And so he had to take him out. And, because Trump is the best dancer in the world, and that's how he looks at it. So he got pissed that, wait a minute, what is this guy doing dancing? He's taking away my shtick here. And if you look at it and you admit, Maduro is a better dancer. So really, I think Trump stole Maduro because he was pissed that he was the top dictator dancer, not Trump. Anyway, we move on. Jeff in Long Island. Hello. Horn Dog in there. Let's see. Louis, Anthony Kyle Campos. Christopher, good morning to you. Cheers from the Cuse. Oscar Rojas. John Santos, can you tell us the secret that you've been holding on since last year? Well, if Black Monday could take place, yes, but I need Black Monday to take place. Okay? So we'll see. You could be getting it soon. We'll see. Maybe I just get pissed and drop it, but it's coming. Oh, it's going to happen at one point. You're going to get it. You guys are going to get it. And then when you think about the big picture, you're going to be even more pissed about how dysfunctional the team is. Like, you think this is dysfunctional? When I tell you that story, you're going to go, well, wait a minute, but then how did all this other stuff take place? Like, what were they thinking? And, so, but I'm gonna spill the beans very soon because I don't give a shit. I'm not here to be anybody's friend or anything like that, okay? I don't worry about that. I don't get close to the players or anything like that. I don't worry about what the Dolphins think or their brass or their PR department or whatever. Most teams in town know that they cannot control this show. They cannot control this host, even when he was on those stations that had partnerships with those teams. They knew that don't even bother to pick up the phone and call me because it won't end well for you at all. Because in the end, see, the thing that I learned a long time ago is I don't need them to talk about them and to address what they're doing or decipher or analyze. I don't need them. So I'm not going to kiss your ass just because I want a player interview, which, I mean, 98% of player interviews are what, dude? They're all just, softballs and nothing real of anything, So give me a break. A couple every once in a while is pretty decent, but outside of that, it's not like, oh my God, I've got to go get it. Oh, it's the greatest. Give me a break. So, that's kind of the way we run things, and it is what it is. So we will say it. I have not forgotten about it. Trust me, I have not forgotten about it. I will say it. What else do we have here? John C., thank you for the love on the super chat. Appreciate you, sir. Thank you. He says, first season I ever watched was 72. Watched every game. This is the first time in my life that I hope for next year is fleeting. Please make a change. We win 70 to whatever, and here we are, and they have home field. That's all you need to know about Boss Ross. Yep. John, we are just at a point where we're lost. We're lost. That is sucks. What do we have here? Tico, Joe Rose has been trashing the entire organization and many players all season. Yep, he has. Happy New Year to you, Ron, out in central New York. Think Blue Dodgers. If we're talking fantasy, then I'm partying with Spuds McKenzie today instead of going to work. I like it. Captain Saki, good morning to you, sir. He says, we are moving the ball and making some stops in the first half, but non-existent the rest of the way. Oh, well, this is our identity. Tarpon Springs in the house. Who gives a damn about the Finns? Let's talk about the U. We will, dude. We will. We will have Manny on tomorrow, and we will talk about the U. Big O, the only reason why McDaniel won't get fired is because Ross doesn't want to get into a shouting match. No, I don't think that's what it is, Jeremy. I just think the old fart doesn't want to go through an entire, when people say, like some of these reporters say, well, they have a patient owner. Do they? Because he doesn't really do what you really need to do, which would really be rip that Band-Aid off. Rip that scab off completely already. It's dried up and gone. Rip it all off already. And he won't do it. He thinks they're closer. So they just need a piece. Yeah, and that's the problem with our franchise. That's the problem with your favorite team and mine. Because they have no concept of how bad it really is. It's a shame. It really is. It's a shame. So the Browns fire Stefanski. Tomlin, what's it called? I'm sorry, Terry Fontenot and Raheem Morris are out with the Falcons. Word from Albert Breer says that if Tomlin plans to take a leave of absence, that's what people say, that if anything, it's not that Tomlin will get fired or anything. If anything, he leaves the Steelers and takes a year or two off, goes to do TV, which he would be magical doing TV with the way he talks. But Albert Breer says that the Steelers would go get Chris Shula. Interesting. Very young to get Chris Shula, but they are a patient organization, and they'll take time, and they'll build the staff around them. And, I don't know if they're that good of an organization anymore, to be quite honest. So everything's gotten old over there, and Tomlin's terrible at personnel. He's part of the problem over in Pittsburgh because he has final say of personnel. And they bring in a whole bunch of crazy people and just shady characters, and he doesn't do anything. He doesn't win anything anymore. He won with Cowers guys back in the day, and since then he hasn't really, he reminds me a lot of Shula, like I've said, where he's a great game day coach, but his personnel decisions are, scary, to say the least. And the team is terrible. You saw that game yesterday? That was a terrible team. How does Patrick Queen end up with Zay Flowers? What kind of a defense is that? And then Zay Flowers on the next touchdown is all by himself. All by himself. Like, wow, even Lamar Jackson's mediocre pass game was actually good for the ending there. People, oh wow, Lamar Jackson. Bro, did you watch the plays? I mean, anybody, Cleo Lemon could have made those throws because it was such bad defense. Like, what is that, dude? How is Patrick Queen covering Zay Flowers, dude? And then in the next touchdown, how is Zay Flowers all alone? Like, what are you doing? It was the weirdest thing out there, bro. There was terrible, terrible defense. Terrible defense. Isaiah Likely, and it was funny because our boy Jalen Ramsey, talk about a whiff, dude. I mean, like, that's a bad team. The Ravens and that whole division, and they trashed the Dolphins, and that division is garbage. That entire division is garbage. Shows you what the Dolphins are. If I think the AFC North is garbage, none of those teams, Baltimore or the Steelers, they don't deserve a playoff spot. But the NFL is watered down nowadays. I've been talking about that for years. The teams that have like the final couple playoff spots, they really don't deserve to be in the playoffs. They really don't. It's just they've expanded it for money, and, they watered it down. Kind of like our dollar. Everything gets watered down nowadays, right? It's what it is. That donut you used to buy, it's not as big as it used to be. The Whopper is not as big as it used to be. That the Big Mac patties are not as thick as they used to be. Wendy's burger, it doesn't look the same like it used to. Everything gets watered down. Everything gets watered down, including that. So, Bitcoin about to hit 94, bitches. All right. About to hit 94, mofos. Here we go. Let's sharing the night together. Yeah. Let's do it. Let's share the chart together. Let's watch it go to 94 together. Because if I'm going to put it up, you got to make the move now, Bitcoin. Let's go. Make that move right now, baby. Yeah, you only go around once in a lifetime. By the way, before I get back to Dolphins, because I've got another topic that is kind of juicy, but not like juicy in the sense of a big story or anything, but juicy as in if I look at what's going on inside that team right now, and if I wanted to read one individual. But I'm going to get to that in a minute. But the Heat, I saw this Zach Lowe story. And this is where the Heat are pissing me off. I love the Heat. I love Pat Riley. The Harrison family's fantastic, but I'm going to call them out when I have to call them out. And I don't like the way they're doing business now, and they have fallen behind, and they're not doing things the way I see the rest of the NBA do things. When I watch the Houston Rockets and OKC and many of these other young teams that have revitalized their teams, Detroit, whatever, they went back to the lottery. They sucked for a few years. They were terrible, but they went to the lottery several times and were able to get some players. And I think that's what the Heat need to do. I would sell everybody as many players as I can sell for first rounders, and I'd start reloading. And then one way or another, I'm going to get my star through the lottery or through trade or something with multiple picks, things that I don't have right now. Okay, we've talked about this many times over. So Zach Lowe says that teams are calling about Bam, and the Heat are telling him, "No, we're not interested." Now we're going to talk to Ira about this. So are the Heat saying we're not interested because, hey man, trading deadline's not here yet? Let's not be so in a hurry to trade them. Let's see if it builds up and they get a little bit more desperate and they give us something. If they're smart. Now, if they continue in their dumb ways, and oh no, we need Bam and this and that, and your team isn't good enough for anything. You're a playing team. Give me a break. If you're really going to hold off and you're not going to trade Bam, then you really don't understand what's going on in the NBA anymore. And your style, the way you've done things, is dead. It's dead. You don't do things the right way anymore, Miami Heat. You just don't. You don't do things the right way. And you don't understand the way the league goes anymore. And you're not going to be landing whales anymore. You've got all these aprons and all that bullshit going on. You need to reset. You need to take a couple of steps back and sell everybody, including Bam. So I hope that the interest that Zach Lowe says is coming, and that people are calling and you're denying, I hope you're doing it because you're trying to build up the value of Bam leading up to the trading deadline. And then hopefully you get them as much as you can, because he is the one piece that you probably can get 2 first rounders from a team that says, we need a third guy. We got a couple stars, but we need that glue guy that puts and that's who Bam is for those kind of teams. Bam's not a lead guy for us. He's not. He's never going to be that. God, how many did I nail it or what? Super role player? Come on, bro. Come on. That's who he is. That's who he is. So I hope that the Heat are turning down Bam requests because they're trying to create a little more desperation out of these teams to maybe give up a little bit more leading up to the trading deadline. But I hope you're not really thinking of keeping him long term, because I think the results are there and we've watched it for the last few years. You are what you are, and this is what you're going to be. You're not going to get any better. So the only way to get better is by taking a couple of steps back. You didn't want to trade Jimmy Butler when I said, that's fine. Told you not to trade Kyle Lowry, whatever, trade for Kyle Lowry, whatever. All these kind of things that sadly I've been right and they have been wrong about almost everything that I've been talking about for the last few years. I know I'm right about this. They need to take a couple steps back. And us Heat fans, we will watch, dude. And in fact, I will be more inspired and will look forward more to the future of the Miami Heat if we're going to the lottery and we have a chance at landing a young star, because that's exciting. And then when you land the young star, then you watch the whole thing grow. That's exciting. You know what's not exciting? Watching the status quo. Knowing that you're going nowhere with what you have. And there's no chance. And you have the best coach in the NBA, and you do not give him the tools to succeed. Shame on you, Pat Riley. Shame on you, Mickey and Nick Harrison. Shame on you guys. Now give me my damn 94,000, bitch. Huh. All right, what else do we have here? Big O, here's my reason why McDaniel's job is safe, because he gives Ross great pleasure with some lip gloss and a pair of knee pads. El Colonel says Ross is flying in his helicopter as we speak to court Maduro to be his GM. I like it. I think Maduro can be a good GM for us. Liberty Jack says 2 years ago, Miami and Bills were dancing on the Pats' grave. Lost Brady and Belichick. Look at them now. What good organizations do. That's right. That's right. The letter has not come out yet, Mitch. Chicken wings at Sports Grill were bigger. That's right. There you go. They were. I don't remember, but okay. I'll take your word for it. Pittsburgh will go down next week, so will Buffalo. Well, Pittsburgh definitely is going to go down. I mean, they're a terrible team. Buffalo doesn't have a defense, so that's going to be tough. And he doesn't have the best weapons out there also. Dolphin Dumpy says, my junk used to be bigger. Yeah. So getting watered down there too. It's kind of that kind of hurts, Dolphin Dumpy. Let's see, Orlando Sosa. Sosa. You know, I go and caught a few deals here and there. We'd be all right. Big O, what was the scoring difference in the third quarter this year? We had to be the worst in the league. It's a ridiculous number. Does it really matter, bro? Yeah, the Dolphins suck. It's kind of what it is. They suck. And Mike McDaniel's a clown, you know? I say we get Maduro as head coach, as general manager, and Tim Waltz as the head coach. The Dolphins are frauds anyways. We might as well add Waltz. He's great at fraud. All right, here we go. What else do we have here going on? Got any scoop or something interesting from that circus building yet? Well, I've been telling you about it, and it's kind of coming to fruition. I told you last week that it's a building of people just trying to save their asses. And what has come out in the last week? A building of people saving their asses, that everybody's safe and they're just trying to find a scout. So I gave you the scoopage last week about what was kind of going on, you know, in a sense, if you really look at it. So let's see. What else do we have? Optics of a post-game handshake, not great. Vrabel looks like a football coach who demands respect. McDaniel looks like a wannabe DJ with goofy glasses and capri pants. Oh, yeah, dude. When you look at Mike Vrabel, that's a head coach, dude. When you look at Paul Maurice, that's a head coach, dude. When you look at Eric Spoelstra, that's a head coach. When you look at Mike McDaniel, that's not a coordinator. He's not even a coordinator. He's a play designer. A coordinator actually knows how to use the plays that are designed. He hasn't even gotten to that stage yet. Like they hired a guy that was 2 positions away from actually being that job. He's a position coach, not a coordinator, not a head coach. And certainly not the face of a franchise. Oh my God. How did you walk away from that interview saying, that's like saying I want to hire Robert Kennedy to be my spokesperson. The Dolphins they're going to really try and win. I mean, are you serious? Come on, man. It's baffling what goes on. Jeff in Long Island says, don't forget the chat board. The Tyreek Hill news is coming from Big O when he's out, when he's cut. Let's see. Big O, Mike McDaniel is a postalita. Sounds about right. Let's see. Mike looks like a junior high JV assistant coach. We have the best clown show in football. I would agree with Dolphin Dave in that. McDaniel is a scammer asking people for the Cash App accounts. There you go. That's it. I like it. He grabs your phone and then he goes right into your Cash App and you know how they do that. Be careful, you guys out there, you idiots. Okay? Let me warn you morons out there, because you all worry about, everybody loves women, right? So you hand somebody your phone for a selfie, or they want to use your phone or whatever, and you just met this girl or whatever. There's this thing now that they're doing that they go right into your Cash App or Venmo accounts or crypto accounts, and they drain your ass. So while you're in the club and you're eating shit and all that kind of stuff, and you meet a girl and you hand her the phone or whatever, fellas, let's go. Think with this head, okay? Let's go. Let's be smart. It reminded me of that because I've heard stories about that kind of stuff, and be smart out there, man. There's a lot of scammers out there. Terrible. What else? Preview of McDaniel season-ending presser. Ahs. You forgot all rights. Okay. All right. By the way, I'm not getting my 94,000. Damn it. It's going to happen before I get off the air here for sure. 93,893. It'll happen. Probably happened now that I took it off. We'll go to 94. What else do we have? Let me do a little music. Get that out of the way before I get back to my Dolphins comments and any of your questions, insults, all kinds of good stuff. Here we go. All right, let's start off with musicians born on the 5th of January. Let me put my Bitcoin page up too at the same time, just in case to celebrate. All right, let's start off. Who was born? What musicians were born on this date? Troy Van Leeuwen, guitarist for Queens of the Stone Age and A Perfect Circle, born in 1970. Brian Warner with Marilyn Manson, born in 1969. Grant Young, drummer with Soul Asylum, born in 1963. Phil Thornalley, songwriter, vocalist, and guitarist with Johnny Hates Jazz. Chris Stein with Blondie, born in 1950. And I will say it to the end of the earth. Blondie is an all-time underrated band, okay? And I'm not telling you that individually these musicians were like Neil Peart and like Eddie Van Halen or Stevie Ray Vaughan or no. But collectively, they are some of the most talented musicians ever because the variety of music that they came up with is ridiculous. And to have that kind of range as a band, that's some sick shit, dude. So Blondie deserves a ton of love as a band because of their versatility, bro. They came up with all kinds of terrific music, and they really experimented in every genre possible, pretty much, and were fantastic at it. And if you ever really delve into the Blondie catalog, there'll be songs that you've never heard of and will flip you out and all that. So I just encourage it. They are one of the most underrated bands ever, dude. So happy birthday to Chris Stein. George Brown, singer with the R&B funk band Kool and the Gang, born in 1949. Let's see who else. Grady Thomas, former founding member of Parliament and Funkadelic, born in 1941. Phil Ramone, of course, pioneering the punk movement with the Ramones, 1934. Let's see. Sam Phillips, founder of Sun Records, the first label of Elvis Presley's recordings, born in 1923. All right, let's move on to famous people born on this date. Remember, if I don't give you an age, that means, unfortunately, they have passed away. And we start off with actor George Reeves, born in 1914, the first Superman. Who else? Vice President Walter Mondale, born in 1928. Robert Duvall, born in 1931. He is 95 years old today. God bless him. Let's see. Football Hall of Famer Chuck Noll, born in 1932. Hall of Fame member Jim Otto, born in 1938. TV personality Charlie Rose, born in 42. He is 84. Actress Diane Keaton, born in 46. Actress Pamela Sue Martin. Dynasty, right? Or Dallas? Dallas, right? Dallas. Pamela Sue Martin was in Dallas. Hot. 53. She is 73 today. Born in 53. Actor Clancy Brown, born in 59. He's 67. Actor Vinnie Jones, born in 65. He's 61. Dancer TV personality Carrie Ann Inaba, born in 68. She's 58. Actor Bradley Cooper, born in 75. He's 51. Actress January Jones, born in 78. She's 48. DJ Deadmau5, born in 81. He's 45. And that is it. Sean Stanley, do you have wrestlers born on this date, sir?
Yes, sir, we do. Marche Rocket was born on this date. He turns 41. Sloane Jacobs turns 23. Yutaka Yoshi was born on this date in 1974. And Willie Mack, AEW Ring of Honor star, turns 39 on January 5th, 2026.
The Raiders have parted ways with Pete Carroll. That was a phenomenal decision by Tom Brady. You know what was a great decision by Tom Brady? Trading a third rounder for Geno Smith and paying him. You know what was also a great move by Tom Brady? He went and hired Chip Kelly as the most expensive offensive coordinator in the NFL, like $6 million a year, and fired him into his first season. You know, Tom Brady in his second year, that Austin Gentry pick at running back, man, that was the steal of the draft. This guy, Tom Brady, this guy, I'm telling you, the Dolphins should get him. Anyway. Jim, thank you, sir. Appreciate the kind words. He says, a beautiful thing Finns hesitant to change is one of the reasons they waited too long and hired McD in the first place. They need to rip the Band-Aid off. No reason to keep it on. I'm with you, man. Think Blue Dodger says Blondie arguably put hip-hop on the map with that Rapture song. Yeah, she was rapping, baby. Everything from the punk era of theirs, that they have music that's very punk oriented, to disco like music, to rap like music, to pop like music, to reggae-like music. Like, I mean, you gotta listen to their catalog and listen to their music, and the variety is ridiculous, dude. They were a great band, man. They were an absolutely awesome band. What else do we have? Juan, can you give my daughter, let's see, is it Neolani? Neolani Rose, a shout out. It's her sweet 16. Happy New Year. All right, Neolani, I hope I am pronouncing it right. Neolani Rose, happy birthday to you. Happy 16th birthday to you. I hope you have the perfect day, and I hope Dad comes through big time. Okay, it's 16. He's got to make it special. You're special. He's got to make it special, right? So the pressure right now is on Juan to get it done. All right, Juan, happy birthday. All right, and I hope that I pronounced it right. Neolani Rosa. Beautiful name if I pronounced it right. Let's see. Pamela Sue Martin was so good, and Nancy Drew. Yes, she was. Yes, and hot. Yes, Sean Stanley. I'm sorry. What do you got for me? Did not see that. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I see. The live is old. I'm sorry. I went to my iPad is what I'm watching. That's old. So I went to the other one that's live, and I see it's not there. That must have been the whole wrestling stuff. All right. What else do we have? Never thought of that with Blondie. Well, Bradley, that's what we're here, bro. We're not just sports, bro. We can talk about a lot of things in life. You know what I'm saying? It's just kind of the way it goes. We will enlighten you in all kinds of different things. What else? Music history is coming, Stephen Harris. You know how it is. I kind of drag it out sometimes. It is. But you want music history? What happened today in music history? We will give it to you. Don't forget Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo, and you can make a Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, or Solana donation. Of course, you can send in your questions, comments, and insults there. We start off here in music history. In 1967, Paul McCartney recorded his vocal tracks for the Beatles' Penny Lane at Abbey Road Studios in London. In 1975, The Wiz, a soul version of The Wizard of Oz, opened at the Majestic Theater on Broadway. It starred future disco diva Stephanie Mills. I never knew love like this before. As Dorothy in 1978, the production was turned into a movie starring Michael Jackson and Diana Ross. In 1979, Elvis Costello and the Attractions released their third studio album, Armed Forces, in the UK. It features the singles Oliver's Army, which he will not sing live anymore. Okay? He can't say white ends anymore. He refuses. It's like the Stones won't play Brown Sugar anymore. They will not play it live. Donna Summers, before she died, would not play anymore Love to Love You, Baby, because she was too old to sing a sexy song like that. Pat Benatar will not sing Hell is for Children anymore. Okay, so some things, Donna was a personal thing, which was understandable. And then the other three are political type of things. In 1980, the aforementioned Donna Summers scored her third U.S. #1 album on the radio, The Greatest Hits, Volume 1 and 2. In 1980, Rapper's Delight by the Sugar Hill Gang became the first rap song to hit the top 40 when it reached number 37 on the charts with a hip, hop, a hibbit to the hibbit, a hip, hip, hop it. All right, let's see. In 91, Madonna went to #1 on the U.S. singles charts with Justify My Love, a song co-written with Lenny Kravitz. In 91, Iron Maiden went to #1 in the UK singles charts for the first and only time with Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter, which spent 1 week at the top. Let's see. In 2008, Josh Groban was at #1 on the U.S. album charts with a Christmas album, Noel. In 2010, Kesha released her debut album, Animals. It featured TikTok and Blah, Blah, Blah. And in 2015, Taylor Swift was at number 1 on the U.S. album charts with her 5th studio album, 1989, which was the best-selling album of 2014 in the U.S. market, having sold more than 5.5 million copies. Let me see if there's any birthdays that we're missing from the other list, because sometimes this one has a few birthdays that are not on that list. And in this case, that's not the case. So that is what happened today in Musica history. How do you like them apples? Don't forget to smash the like button. Smash it, smash it, smash it. Okay? Oh, Florida oranges and grapefruits on a different level. My aunt sent me a few. Yeah. But go to a place like Costa Rica and go see volcanic ash-like ground that produces fruits. Then you'll really freak out. Okay? Because going back to our conversation, it's also watered down too here in this country. So, yeah. It's a whole different ball game. Yeah. Take a trip and check it out. It'll blow you away. Anyway, appreciate you all out there as always. So we talked about the Dolphins dysfunction. Okay. We talked about Stephen Ross keeping Mike McDaniel. So the other conversation that I think, and something that might be going on behind the scenes, we won't hear about it, and it probably won't even come to light. But if you're Anthony Weaver, let me ask you something. Why would you want to stay here? So somebody enlightened me yesterday. Alf enlightened me yesterday about if you hire Weaver, take him from the Dolphins, they'll get 2 third-rounders. That's not going to happen at this point in time. But if I'm Anthony Weaver, I'm not getting ahead by staying here in this dysfunctional situation. And you're probably not going to get out by getting hired, because then somebody would have to give up 2 third-rounders. If you're Anthony Weaver at this point in time, one, you're either going to try to get yourself out of this situation and say, yeah, I'd like to move on overall, or you are hoping that they actually fire Mike McDaniel, because then once they fire him, they fire the staff, and now you're free. Because one of the things that people aren't talking about, and neither are the idiots in the building, is not every coach is going to want to come back here. And Anthony Weaver, after what he's experienced for the last 2 years, you gave him 1 year a team with no pass rush, and then the next year you gave him another team with no secondary and linebackers that really can't cover. You even saw it again yesterday. The linebackers are awesome. I love them, but they're not great cover guys. Just kind of the way it is. And then you give them 3 young defensive tackles who then it hurts Sealer's job, and at the same time it stumps your growth as a defense. He's had to deal with bullshit for 2 years. Doesn't improve his resume, and he's actually done a pretty decent job considering the shit that he's been given. And if you're going to keep being the redheaded stepchild, I don't know why you want to stay here. So I would imagine this is not insight. This is not somebody telling me in the building that the guy wants to get out. This is just me doing math. And I'm wondering, well, wait a minute. I'm a young coach. I consider myself a guy who wants to be a head coach. Am I getting to that road faster by staying here? No. If I can go somewhere where they got their shit straight and they got talent, and then I can actually show that I can be a great defensive coordinator, and then that can catapult me to being a head coach, but I'm not going to do it here. In fact, who does it here? Nobody. So I would imagine that Anthony Weaver is finding or discussing with his agent and figuring out a way to get the hell out. Maybe right now they're laying low and playing the game because the final word on McDaniel has not been made yet. Maybe they get lucky and they hear the final word, and then they don't have to go to the front office and say, hey, guys, we really don't want to be here anymore. My client would like to try to move on and get a job somewhere else and all that kind of stuff. But if I'm Anthony Weaver, I am doing whatever I can to get away from this place because it is not helping my career whatsoever. Not that being here helps anybody's career. Not a quarterback, not a lineman, not a defensive player, not a coach, nothing. It just, because of what goes on at the top, it trickles down to the people under, and it doesn't create a good situation. So I would not be surprised if Anthony Weaver is making or trying to find his way off this team, which, by the way, would be another change. If you actually keep Mike McDaniel, it would be another defensive coordinator that wants out. It's funny. We had a head coach that couldn't keep any offensive people, couldn't find any, and now we have an offensive coach that can't keep any defensive coaches. Kind of screwed up, isn't it? But if I'm Anthony Weaver, I am looking for a way out. Okay. Brett Dodger. The Big O Show is a fountain of information, relevant or not. His knowledge of useless trivia is most impressive as well. LOL. Yes. I have a lot of useless information in my head, dude. That I do. Brett Dodger, you have nailed it. I have got just way too much useless information in my head. It's ridiculous, to be quite honest. But thank you for noticing. Let's see. FYI, George Reeves was the second Superman. Kirk Allen played Superman in the late 40s. Oh, very nice, Derek. Nice. I didn't even know who the hell Kirk Allen was. I thought it was George Reeves was the first guy. Didn't know there was a guy like right before him. Well, okay. Ragin says, I have never felt so hopeless about the Finns as I do now. Well, I mean, you can thank Stephen Ross for that, my brother. That is all on Stephen Ross. He has done it all. By the way, this hat, I got it at Caneswear. We're going to be there on Wednesday. You can get 10% off at Caneswear. Use our code BIGO10 online or in person, doesn't matter. And online, if you order over $99, you will get free shipping too on top of all of that. So you can get 10% off and free shipping. They've got all kinds of college football playoff gear for the Canes. They've got all like this sweet hat and 100 other hats practically. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. You know, I'm not doing any false advertising, but it's like a boatload of hats, bro. Okay, it might be 100. I don't know, but it's a lot of hats. Canes, I'm saying. They got Heat hats. They got Dolphin hats. Lots of Dolphin hats with the old logo. Bail on the whale. Do not buy the whale anymore. Okay? That's Stephen Ross's logo. Buy the old logo. You know, it's not like we're leaving the Dolphins and we're never going to. No, dude, we love our Dolphins, but buy the old logo. You know? Tell Stephen Ross to go F himself. But they've got Marlins gear. They've got Inter Miami gear. So they've got all of our local teams down there. Miami Heat. I got a couple of sweet Miami Heat hats from there. Go check it out. 2655 South University Drive in Davie, and tell them that Big O sent you. Brett and all the great people out there. They'll take care of you. Ken Graff, Jeff, Jack, just awesome people, man. Awesome people. They'll take care of you there at Caneswear, baby. Caneswear. All right. It says we hit 94, but I didn't see it. I didn't see it. So I don't know. I don't know if it's the tooth. You know, that's my problem. I didn't see it, but we're still at 93,803. But there are people on Twitter that are saying that Bitcoin hit 94. Unfortunately, I did not catch it, but it's all right. It's the inevitable. It's going to happen. I mean, it's only going in one direction with the way we're devaluing our money. So it's all right. Pete Carroll can get fired. McDaniel should not have a job. Carroll at least accomplished things as a coach. Yep, that is true. What else? I was there at Sports Grill with you in 2021 draft when we got Waddle and can't find the show episode. I don't know where it's at. I don't know where it's at. You're asking Sean where it's at. I don't know. That's it. What you have to do, how would you find it? Just put the date. You got no mic on?
Oh yeah, no, I had the mic on wrong. I believe Waddle would have been when we were with Onside.
Oh, okay.
I believe that was that draft.
Well, I was still doing a little bit of but I did go 6. No, you know what? I went the 6 month period that I went out. That's right. It was Onside, and it was probably that time because there's a 6 month period of no shows on the platform because I was focused on Onside the entire time. And yes, you are correct. Nice job by you. Yeah. So there is an Onside still over on YouTube. You can find it, Onside Sports, and it's probably there, Anthony. That's probably where it's at. It's still online. It's still there on YouTube from Onside. We could have done something with that, bro. What a shame. What a shame. Let's see. You just made my daughter's day even more special, blasting the speaker tonight with your shout out. And yes, you got her name right. Thank you, sir. Again, off I go. Okay, cool. I got it right. All right. Neilani. Okay. All right, cool. I'm glad I got it right. MF Castle says, as a South Florida football fan, it's so refreshing to see the Canes finally take a leap, unlike you know who. Yeah, I know. We needed this badly, dude. We needed this badly. And it wasn't looking good, with the losses to SMU and Louisville. But, man, this was finally playing up to your potential. It was really, really cool to see. Yeah. What would be your alternative uniform if throwback was permanently? Eric, I don't really give a shit about any of that, dude. I just want a winning team. I don't care if their uniform's completely pink, to be quite honest. I just want a team that goes out there and beats the shit out of people and wins some games and starts winning playoff games on a consistent basis. You know what I mean? That's what I want. I don't care about individual accomplishments anymore. I don't care about, silly uniforms and all this other it's all the stuff to keep you busy from the fact that you don't get the job done. The stupid elevator picture, whatever it is, all this crap is to keep you busy from the fact that you're a terrible freaking franchise. And that to me is what's important. When you start winning, then I can start to enjoy the minutia. But if you're not winning, I don't care about the minutia. I'm just tired of it because it's been so long. I don't care about your stupid alternative uniforms. I don't care about a Pro Bowl voting. I don't really give a shit about rushing titles or receiving titles or quarterback ratings or MVP race or any of that shit. None of that just does nothing for me. Well, you know what it's going to do for me? When you start winning playoff games, then I'm going to start getting excited. And then when you're a good team like the Panthers, then I can get into all the other stuff. Oh, by the way, speaking of the Panthers, okay? NHL. I get it. It's Miami. It's, we're full of Latin people. I happen to be one. But from this Latin dude, okay, I'm an objective mofo. All right? I'm just gonna call it like I see it. Luis Fonsi does not go with hockey. Sorry. That was a terrible decision. Everything else looked really cool, the presentation, all of that. Newfound Glory. Okay, you want a South Florida band? I don't give a shit about if it's Latin or white or Afro-American or Asian or I don't give a shit. Okay? I give a shit. It's hockey. Give me edgy music. Newfound Glory has ska, punk, rock to it. Their music's fun, dude. It goes with hockey. You can play Newfound Glory music at a hockey rink. Okay? You don't play Luis Fonsi music ever at the Emirates Bank Arena, dude. That's not what gets you going. You play AC/DC. You play rock. If this was a Marlins event at that stadium, then Luis Fonsi goes perfect. You got Latin players coming out, they could do a little salsa steps and whatever, and it goes with the vibe. A hockey team and the hockey fan base, it does not go with that vibe. Just because you're in Miami, have the Miami deco look, but have a band like Newfound Glory, a Coral Springs band that is right next to Sunrise. How cool is that? So that way you're honoring actually a band that originates from here. Dashboard Confessional also originates from here, but Dashboard Confessional, I think Newfound Glory's music could easily go with hockey. Okay, and lots of people know Newfound Glory. I get it. It's maybe older people like myself. They have no idea who they are. I'm a little different. I'm kind of a freak. I listen to all kinds of music, so it's cool. But I've been to 2 concerts for Newfound Glory. And they're fantastic, dude. They're awesome. But live, they have so much energy live. It's just, it would have been a perfect fit. That's all. Everything else was great about it. It's just, you're placating to the whole thing just because of the Latin stuff. You don't really have to do that every single time. And do it when it fits. Inter Miami, that fits. Baseball, that fits. Hockey, Luis Fonsi, does not fit, dude. Nothing personal. Luis Fonsi's fantastic in his own right. The guy's an international star. His Despacito song, all that crap. I get it, all that stuff. I understand. But you got to do what's right. And don't just, placate. Oh, we're in Miami. Oh, we have to do something Latin. No, if it doesn't go, no, you don't have to. You can have the flavor of Miami in the look without necessarily forcing a square peg in a round hole, which, what happened in the game? You ended up with the Fonsi Funk, and you lost. See? The Fonsi Funk. Then you come back and you beat the Avalanche with your backup goaltender. And guess who wasn't there? Luis Fonsi. Just saying. Just saying. Anyway, I'll say what needed to be said. Let's see. Karun says, agree. Oh, winning or nothing. I'm scheduling Dolphin rebuilds like people schedule colonoscopies. 2028 rebuild fails, and then off to 2034. Amen. The Dolphins requested an interview with Packers VP of Personnel John Eric Sullivan for their GM job, per source. Let's see. Glad you said it, Big O. Thought the same and cringe when Fonzie came on stage and the teams walking out onto the ice with that music did not jive. It was terrible, Giovanni. Terrible, dude. Terrible. It did not go. The Jaybird says, I'm excited with Inter Miami signings. Dane St. Clark at goalkeeper. He was ranked number 1. Yeah, I know. As the headline when they signed him, it said, the rich got richer. Anthony Kyle Campos found it, by the way, on onside. Hey, is the chat board Frankie free again? Hey, you know what? That's right, dude. Sean, Frankie has disappeared since the Canes advanced. Is Frankie alive? Is he all right? Did it do that much damage to the poor man?
No, Frankie is alive. He's just been a little super busy with his 3 jobs.
Oh, he's Jamaican.
No, he's got the DJ gig and New Year's, Christmas, all that. It gets a little hectic.
Get out of here, man. I just got off a double shift, and I'm going into another double shift on my 8th job in the week, man. You are lazy, man. Yes. So, I got it. Frankie's part of that In Living Color skit.
Yeah, he's been hitting and running lately. I see him every once in a while, and then he's in and out real quick.
Yeah. Sean, you lazy, man. I got 4 jobs in one day. That's how it goes. Let's see. Let's put Swedish House Mafia on the decks. Axwell, Steve, Angelo, and Ingros. So, Big O, what's the best run franchise? NBA Thunder, maybe? Yeah, definitely. I mean, the Dodgers, they just spend more money than everybody else. In baseball, it's a little different. It takes some skill, but it takes a lot of money. It's kind of the way it goes. It was cool watching the Panthers kick around a soccer ball on the beach at Marlins Park before the game. I just text you pictures. Yes. No, everything about it was cool. Okay, Jay, everything about it was super cool. I really liked it. They came with the Ferraris, all that stuff. It was fun, dude. It was a lot of fun. It was really cool. The only thing I didn't like, and I thought it was forced, was Fonzie. That's the only thing. And nothing against Luis Fonsi, dude. I have nothing against him and his music and his talent. He can enjoy his Ford commercials and everything. That's fine. It's just, I got to call it like I see it, dude. And that was so fish out of water. That was like a turd in a punch bowl. That did not belong there. That's all. And, next time, if you're doing something in South Florida, check with yours truly. I will guide you all. I know my town really well. Hey, we're thinking of Luis Fonsi. No. Newfound Glory, guys. And they would have looked at me like, huh? And I would have played their music, show them that they sold many albums. They're cool. And look at the vibe that they bring to Table Plus. It's a Coral Springs band that is playing for a Sunrise band. Sunrise team, like sister cities. Give me a break. Nothing goes better than that, By the way, is Luis Fonsi from here? Is he like me, born and raised in Miami? Let me look at that. I never even looked at that. Let me see something here. Not to pick on poor Luis Fonsi, not that he gives a shit what I'm doing or talking about him. Dude, he was born in Puerto Rico. Now, he did go to Dr. Phillips High School in Orlando. So he originates from Orlando, but he was born in Puerto Rico. Okay. So I guess born in Puerto Rico, grew up idolizing pop stars, Menudo, and that's really good. At 10, his family decided to move from Puerto Rico and relocate to Orlando, Florida. He attended Westridge Middle School and Dr. Phillips High School. Dr. Phillips High School is a pretty good high school for athletics, man. During his high school years, he participated in an a cappella group called the Big Guys. They sang at school parties, local festivals. One of the members of the group, Johnny Fatone, ended up on NSYNC. How about that? And in 95, Fonzie enrolled in FSU. Oh, God, you brought a Seminole to the building. School of Music for a full scholarship. He also joined the school's choir, Florida State University Singers, and sang at the City of Birmingham Symphony Orchestra. Eventually, he dropped out in order to pursue a career in music. Soon after, he was offered a recording contract by Universal Music Latin. So he is at least a Florida kid, but I still would have brought Newfound Glory. It just would have gotten better. That's all. You know. And maybe some of you will listen to Newfound Glory, and you'll find newfound band that you'll like. Peter German, and you'll know that they're also South Florida too. Support the boys from Coral Springs. Peter German, thank you for the love on Venmo, sir. He says, Big O, never heard this statistic, but did you know the Dolphins were last in the league on 3rd and 4th downs with less than a yard to go at 44%? Next to the lowest team, had conversions of 55. Is that coaching or personnel? That's coaching, dude. That's coaching. Don't you see that they can win games? But it's coaching. Yeah. Yeah, I knew about that. Yeah. So they're terrible in many areas. So, yeah. I mean, when you are one of the better teams in per yards per carry, but then like the last couple of years, you're one of the, not this year, they did it a little, they ran more, but the last couple of years, they had one of the better averages per carry, yet they ran the least. How stupid are you? So you can run the ball, but you don't? This is a really stupid coach. And the worst part is, Peter, the owner's even dumber because he actually hangs on to this clown. And that's the most disturbing part, that the guy is hanging on to this clown. And thank you, as always, for your generosity. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. And you can make a Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, or Solana donation. Appreciate you all out there. 80 Dances says, Big O, I'm so lost as a Finns fan. It's hard to care anymore how you can't find a QB for 25 years, draft a QB every draft till you hit. Paul in Connecticut. Yeah, Paul, that's nice, but you had Marino. It's more than just a QB, dude. They're way more than a QB away. Getting a QB doesn't solve your problems. You know, you're only going to what's it called? Help a QB fail is what you're going to do. What do you got there, Sean?
Tom Pelissero reporting now that they also put in a request to interview Eagles assistant GM Alec Hallaby.
Okay.
For the GM job.
All right. We'll see if those kind of guys want to take this job. They're all going to take the interview because it's going to be an experience for them to go through the process. So they all will take the interview. Will they want the job? I don't know. We'll see. If I'm them, I'm probably not taking this job, but you never know. We'll see. We'll see. What else do we have here? 2 playoff trips by McDaniel. He earned the right to stay around. Sure. I think they should give him a 10-year contract. In fact, they should give half the team to McDaniel also. So, yep. And McDaniel, of course, will be handling his press conference today, like normal. Isn't that fantastic? Don't you all feel great about that? Yes, sir, Sean.
More names coming out. Assistant GM John McKay from the Rams have been requested for interview, and also Josh Williams from the 49ers. He was a finalist for the Jaguars GM job last year.
All right. There you go. Let's see what happens. Let's see if they can actually land a general manager. I see all the stuff coming out. And they also, 49ers VP with Tariq Ahmed, Director of Scouting and Football Operations, like you talked about, Sean, and Josh Williams for their GM job. So all these, and then Alex Halby, the assistant GM. So all these guys, and John McKay, like Sean mentioned. So all these guys are being requested. We'll find out what goes on with the clown show. And we'll keep you updated on it. All right, we thank, of course, the great Sean Stanley, who masters his entire platform. We thank all of you for tuning in. Those of you that hit the like button, thank you, thank you, thank you. We appreciate you hitting the like button. Very important. Hit the notification bell. And, of course, you can always make a donation any time of the day or night. We always appreciate it at Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. We will see you tomorrow afternoon from Hialeah Park. Same time, same place, same bat channel.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.